Alright, this is Kevlar Golem, um, also known as Pink. Um, the Forum Regulars Game 2. Um, so we'll see that I started out between beige and olive with purple to my north and red and light blue kind of at my corners. Um, Beige was probably the first person I formed a peace agreement with. That seemed to go pretty cleanly. I think I also had a piece, probably piece. I don't know. I don't know how you guys remember all the details of what happened at the beginning of the game a week ago, but pretty sure I had some kind of a peace agreement with Olive as well. Um, I don't remember what happened at Garfield if I negotiated for that, but you see we're both sending one drills at it. I think maybe I was gonna get it, but he was closer, so he wanted to take it for vision and then turn it over to me. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so as we move forward, because those were my two people I had diplomacy with, purple was sort of the obvious, maybe not obvious, but probably really my only realistic target. Going after light blue or red, while possible, would have been really awkward to sort of hit the corners like that. Especially you can see purple's kind of cutting me off from light blue there. I would have had to have attacked from like a generator at red there. Just I guess maybe I could have hit light blue at this corner, but I didn't really have an interest of trying to carve my way around purple. Um, so set out after purple. I think I don't remember at what point he knew that I was going to come after him, but I don't think it took him all that long to realize. You can see I sent out a smuggler. Um, I thought maybe I could move drills around, but it occurred to me pretty quickly that moving my drills to the south at Oaktown and to Tometz and Kalheimer didn't really need the help of a smuggler. So I immediately moved the smuggler up to Tometz and make it a tycoon with the next hire. And times out pretty perfectly, actually. I get the hire only right before he lands. Um, so now that part of the reasoning I chose purple first is because light blue had reached out to me and said, "Oh, purple threat my queen." Maybe I'd reached out to light blue, and then that just came up during the conversation. But anyway, um, purple threatening light blue's queen. If you've read my guide, that pretty clearly defines purple as the asshole that should be an easy person to sort of get other people to gang up on. So I've easily light blue should be on my side because purple just threatened his queen. And then maybe we'll see if red can get in on that because I mean purple's so aggressive. He threatened blue's queen. Did you hear that? That kind of thing. But I don't know. Light blue seemed to take the queen threatening pretty well. Uh, so I didn't really know what to make of that. Um, but I mean, I'm going for purple anyway at this point. I'm kind of committed. So um, the conversation eventually turns into light blue and red, and I in a three-way conversation with light blue initiating it, saying, "You guys have both said you're interested in attacking purple, right?" And so yeah, I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Um, and red didn't really confirm that, but he also didn't say no, I'm not interested. And so I figured he must have said to light blue something to the effect of "Let's attack purple." But we will see as this plays out. That's not exactly what happens. Basically, this should be an easy war. Light blue, red, and I are all right there, right on him. So, especially red and light blue, I thought we're so close to him that I need to get there as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'm not going to get any outposts. So I keep moving up my time table so that I can get over there faster, because they're so close. They must just be chomping at the bit to start attacking purple. Um, so I start getting my attacks in as soon as possible. That is actually the opposite of what was actually happening. Um, I had it's not like that just kind of sort of happened. I had asked, while Red was pretty quiet in the group chat. I had asked him, like, this big attack that I have coming for Fate, you're going to be able to follow that up, right? Because I could see pretty well in advance that I was sending a lot of drills, but I probably wasn't going to be able to take it. But Red could easily, if he even sent half the number of drills that I sent, should easily be able to swoop in and clean up the remainder of purple. But he specifically said, I have drills in wait at Varuna and Ruiz. And what's he doing out of my vision at Runa and Ruiz? He's sending drills away from those outposts. I can't tell you why. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of fighting Brown, but from Tangaroa, and Brown's in full retreat. I just don't see any reason to have those drills in the center of your territory. And Kanaloa, were you? I don't know. It's just so defensively postured that it doesn't seem like he has any intention of tagging anyone. But that is contrary to what I was being told. So Light Blue also said that he was in for the attack. Also, no attacks from him. In fact, his attacks are going towards Brown. Didn't say anything about that to me. Finally, as my attacks start getting in there, um, Light Blue starts to come over, starts to finally get into the fight. Because at this point, Purple and I had been stalemated a while, um, and I had finally amassed up enough to break that stalemate. So Blue, in sort of a vulture-like way, swoops in to take advantage of the fact that I'm ready to come in and break the stalemate, which is what he could have and should have done the first time I sent my first big waves of attacks, and this would have been a much quicker war. I had also been talking to Purple during this, trying to get him to help to talk some sense into him, because, or well, not talk sense to him. I I was so upset at Light Blue and Red for not joining me in that attack that I was willing to talk to Purple, because Purple was fighting a pretty respectable fight. I didn't want to get stalemated with him. Um, and so I said, look, those light blue and red are kind of screwing me over. So you choose either one, and I'll join you, and we take them down together. I don't like having to do all the fighting while light blue and red do nothing, and then are probably going to swoop in and get outposts out of it if the stalemate does break. But Purple didn't really like that idea. He had ideas about attacking Olive, because Olive was in first place. But Olive had been pretty faithful to me in his diplomacy, and at some point I would like to be in first place. And if people are going to just attack me for being in first place because that's what I did to Olive, well, that's something I don't want to happen. I don't see that as a reason to go after someone when they've been loyal to me. So I basically say no to that. Actually, that's not accurate. I basically say, all right, if you want to attack Olive, you can do that. I'm not going to stop you from attacking Olive. And if you can actually manage a good attack, then I maybe I'll join you. But this is another big reason why I didn't want to attack Olive, is because I knew that Purple had no chance of pushing any kind of real offensive against Olive. I'm not going to give him Sorin just so that he can try to push through me and into Olive on this front. And he wanted me to give him Tiberius back, but I also have a real hard time trusting people I'm at war with to suddenly change targets so much so that I would actually give them an outpost back to do so. So I said, no, I'm definitely not giving you Tiberius back. And so he sort of was willing to try the same thing, but from Garfield. Um, and I had actually negotiated to trade for Garfield from Olive, because I was giving drills to Olive from Albreed. Um, you see that the single drill on the way to Garfield right there, and there's the gifts that I had given. Because I wanted to get rid of those drills from Albreed anyway, because they're tying up my cap and have to travel way too far to get to the battle. And by trading for Garfield, actually Olive was just going to let me borrow Garfield, but just to have my cap raised and get rid of those villages or those drills that were hurting my cap, seemed like a win-win for me. So yeah, Olive was he was doing everything that he said he would do, making good trades. If you had told me at that point that Olive was crisis mana, with the reputation that I knew that Olive had, I would have said there's no way that's true. Absolutely no way. But we'll find later that that changes. Um, so send that attack in two waves, because I knew that he had a thief coming up, and I didn't want to lose 15% of 180 something. Um, Nor did I want him to smuggle that sentry down to me and start hitting me with that. So, well, actually, I may have. Yeah, it looks like I launched as soon as I saw him move. As soon as I saw him move that smuggler. So this is part of the double cross that I had set up for Light Blue, because I was upset that he didn't help me in round one, and let me lose a lot of drills in what should have been an easy 3v1. Red sort of apologizes for that, so I'm willing to I don't really actually forgive him, but I'm at least willing to move him lower on the death list, which is not to get into a rant about why domination is a terrible, hideous game mode, but it essentially boils down to what order do you want to die? Do you want the other players to die in? Because it's just a gang up on whoever's next on the list, and it is, even though it's anonymous mode, it becomes a little bit of like a who do you like best competition. I can only imagine how ugly that gets when you're playing with in a way where you can actually see other people's names. Anyway, my thoughts on domination aside, so the plan here is Olive actually sends a little bit of an extra help. He's got two admirals, so that's actually going to get there before me. So that was another reason I was willing to put Olive in my good graces, and so I had kind of a double cross set up for Light Blue, and you'll see he's coming in to finally join the attack on Purple. obviously a little too late for my liking, which is why we had the double cross set up. So light blue finally comes in to move in on this attack and sort of vulture some of my hard work. And then the double cross goes into effect. Uh, you see beige with a big 200 sub there. Olive with another big sub. Let's see what that is. Oh, 11, not a big sub. But then he's going to come from Seabass, I think. Yeah. And then red's in there. Everyone jumps in to get a piece of this. So as soon as Roadkill, I'm sorry, Light Blue, who is Roadkill, as soon as he sees this, that essentially everyone on the map is attacking him right after he just lost a bunch of drills attacking purple, he knows it's over for him. And he also seems, according to what he said that he had some real life stuff going on and he didn't have time for this, but he was pretty much going to be done anyway. And I think he even says in his video that shuffling some drills around would not have helped him. He just didn't have the numbers to do anything to what was coming at him. So purple goes down. Purple was also probably in a lot of trouble, but he got kind of screwed on a weird mechanic that maybe didn't seem all that logical. I thought he tried to scramble at the last second, but when I see it click by click, you can see that he was ready to move, and then my attack hits. For some reason, that knocks him out of his move, even though it hasn't killed her. And then another tick has to go by and kills her. So I don't. There's something. I guess maybe that's how the game works. Maybe it was just a weird glitch, but it didn't seem like a logical way in which the game should work. But that's how it happened. I mean, he's probably in bad shape, but it shouldn't have been where he died. Light blue, on the other hand, knows he's going to die, and just resigns because he knows he's going to die. So a huge area of the map just turned into a corpse right here in the middle, and everybody's running in to get a piece. Of course, now red sends some drills to get a piece of this corpse, but he's wise enough to not push me enough to know that he at least needs to give me Vincar here in the middle, and lets me take that. I let him keep Rand just so he doesn't think that I'm trying to completely cut him off, but yeah, I was not going to give him any more than Rand. And if he had pushed harder than that, I might have pushed him up higher on the kill list. But I think what happens now, I believe, is that orange starts to go down. Again, the domination mode just sort of turns into what order are we going to kill people in? So we'll see that. Basically, as soon as, probably even before Sky went down, I was starting to look at big picture game. I knew that Beige and I had a very strong relationship at this point. I think we had an alliance formally, and Olive also was part of that alliance. I think we were even doing a three-way chat. But we also were, Beige and I were aware that it seemed like Olive had a pretty good relationship with Red. And what concerned me about that was that I thought that Red had a good relationship with Orange. So my fear was that it would turn into a 3v2, and Olive would be the deciding factor in which way that 3v2 went. Either Olive, Pink, Beige against Red and Orange, or Red and Orange and Olive versus Pink and Beige. So I think maybe Olive sensed this because once he takes Garfield back, um, he sees that I'm about to move a hypnotist up to take all of these specialists, which is huge. That's pretty good. But Olive decides I'm stacking admirals. I see a navigator there. I think I want that navigator, and I'm not going to offer anything for it. I just want it. I just want to have it. I'm not going to offer anything as a trade to receive it. So he tells me this. I say, how about a trade? What do you have to trade for it? I had negotiated a trade earlier with my ally, Beige, which I explained to him that when Beige wanted, or I'm sorry, when I wanted a hypnotist from Beige so I could stack kings, I traded him a lieutenant. Um, he didn't listen to this and instead kept insisting on getting that navigator. Uh, and then he said something interesting, which was that uh, after I kept pushing him to make an offer, his offer was peace, which I thought was interesting because we were in an alliance and we already had peace. So that, to me, sounded like a direct threat. Direct's the wrong word. It sounded like a clear threat through subtleties. Uh, and I don't really take kindly to being bullied like that. So I was still mad at Red from earlier about leaving me out to dry with Purple, but I knew that um, I didn't like the way that Olive was behaving, and I would rather see Olive go down before Red. So at this point, though, Orange needed to go down because Orange being in the game, I don't know if he's on a team with Red, but he needs to go down. Olive actually, for all his shortcomings diplomatically, all of a sudden he pretty consistently fights well. He takes down Orange really effectively. Earlier, I couldn't see it when I was playing, but he took down. He was, I believe, the one who took down Brown as well. Um, so not an attack on his ability to play in terms of moving troops and attacking, but diplomatically, I was not gonna take what he was dishing. Um, so Orange doesn't like Olive anymore, obviously, as the person who killed him. So as I'm getting close to my attacks getting there, he gifts me two very good specialists, a general and a security chief, and gifts me. Oh, he doesn't gift me Serenity, but he gifts me the drills that were at Serenity. He just doesn't take the shield down. So at this point, we had gotten Red on board. It took some convincing, and I was worried that Red was worried that we were trying to play him into tricking Crisis into attacking him because he also had diplomacy with Olive, and Olive had diplomacy with us. And I told Red this up front, like, look, he's got diplomacy with both sides. He has to choose a side. So we're not betraying him. We know that he has to betray us. He's not going to sit for the rest of the game and just sit with the number of outposts that he already has. He's going to attack one side or the other. So this is not some great betrayal by us to make the first move on that. Uh, and I also want to say that we could have played it easy. I could have just given that navigator to Olive, let him have three admirals, and then Beige, Olive, and I hopefully would just go after Red and make him the next target that we bring down. And I think that's how it would have played out. I can't speak for Olive. I don't know what he was thinking, but I'm pretty sure that's where he was at. But I didn't want to get pushed around and have to make a video where I said, oh well, I give him the navigator without getting anything in return, but then he helps in the way that he already said he would have helped. That's not how I was wanting this friendly game that doesn't actually even mean anything in terms of rating to go down. So Red doesn't trust us because he thinks we're trying to play him against Olive, and he wants us to attack first. And then he was so insistent about the specifics, and it started to seem a little suspicious to me. And he was using words that could be interpreted as ambiguous. Um, and I started to get worried that maybe he was trying to play us because he was so worried that we were going to play him. But we got it all worked out, and it became red, pink, and beige against olive, like I wanted it to. But though it was a risky move because if red said no, it turns into a 2v2, and we were about to see that Olive is he does not go down easy. All of the wars up to this point have gone really easily, actually. Which I'm not saying that that's due to poor play. When you're in a 3v1 or for Orange and Sky like a 5v1, you do go down pretty quickly. But we'll see as this war plays out that Olive actually puts up more of a fight than anybody does. He also is the biggest player. Actually, no, at this point I'm the biggest player. But anyway, Red insists that Beige and I attack first, so that's what we do. Here come my attacks now. Red has got he's got some drills stacked up, that's for sure. I think all of us were pretty high, riding pretty high in the cap. No one was really weak from any of our fighting. So Olive responds to this attack that I have coming at him. I'm going to take Garfield. I make a really big error here. This might be my biggest error of the game, because I was very happy that I had a sentry, two princesses. That's a great combo, right? But stupid subs can only hold three specialists, including the smuggler. So I got to make two trips, right? Otherwise, no, I won't be getting my sentry stacked up. So I got to go back and get that other princess. Well, I forgot that his admiral was making his drills move at 2x speed. So as soon as I go back to get that princess, he's right on me, and there's just really no way that I'm going to get Callhammer back without a pretty big fight. Also, I'm fully aware that my queen is right there. I do have a smuggler on the way to it, but so I could escape, but I didn't want this to be a thing where I move in with Tiberius and then Olive uses his superior speed to just dance around me and just eliminate or slowly start picking off my outposts while I have one big sub try to chase him down. That seemed like a real bad scenario for me. So I was willing to let Callhammer just get lost, but stop the bleeding and sort of root up at Tiberius and sort of get some pretty decent forces around that. Over here on the other side, I sort of dance around, possibly taking down his queen. I move to Vaccarino to take that. He comes in with a martyr, and I think, all right, maybe I can get around this, put pressure on his queen. He's got the admirals there, so he'll probably run away. But maybe I could get both Adi and Vaccarino. But he moves a martyr back, and I'm willing to just back off and just turn around and take Vaccarino. Also, he slipped in a drill behind me, so I was going to have to backpedal to get Vaccarino anyway. Um, and this becomes sort of the theme of the remainder of the fight is Olive getting these little harassment subs in behind me, and me having to run them down with my slower subs. Um, because kings make you strong, but you have to actually get to the fight in order for that strength to be applied. So if you're wondering how to beat the king combo, Admiral, pretty good. Uh, I've always said that Admiral is the most overpowered specialist, but people think King is at the moment. Is the big the nerf war is coming after the King, but I chase him down, and at this point, once he gets to Cousteau, he starts to kind of run out of steam. I think he's losing enough. We'll see over here that he's losing enough that he's just kind of losing interest in the fight. He could have kept running around and harassing all my outposts, but he kind of just stops at Cousteau, and I finally catch up, which is the perfect time for that because I wanted to move this sub back towards my queen anyway so it could break this stalemate that's going on around Callhammer and free up my specialists again. If we back up, I'll show the other part of the war. Let's back all the way up. So let's time it up so we can see exactly when the war started. So the war, I launched from Tiberius, and as I'm launching from Tiberius, I'm getting these other specialists that I had recruited or hypnotized up into position. Maybe I should have done that first, but I had a feeling that Olive was going to start getting scared and that he was going to reach out to Red, and maybe Red would have enough time to change his mind. And so I just wanted to start the fight as soon as possible, which maybe I should stop doing that because it seemed to get myself into trouble. But I get my pirate into place here at Oaktown. I'm definitely going to get Bahat. I think maybe at Soren I lose Soren. Yeah, I don't take Soren, so I have to cut those subs headed for Poseidon down with my pirate, and then the backtrack that I have to send from Bahat finally gets to Soren, and I recover that. Fate generates its own drills to save it. He managed to get through and take Adama as well after Beige lost Salt Mine. But again, it's just harassment. It sucks. It sucks to lose outposts, but it was key to not freak out when that happened and sort of just start sending huge subs to try to shut that down because all I need is a little bit to just take it back. And then he moves again, and then I just take it back, and it's just as long as I don't make a big deal of it, it's just not a big deal. And it does keep happening, but I just keep recovering. So at Shasta, I send an attack, I take it over. Red actually criticizes this in his video. I'll get into that in a second. So I take Shasta. I knew at Raven he was probably going to counterattack me, but I thought that at Bahat. Now at this point I have like, you might be thinking, oh, that pirate with 36 drills, what's that going to do to Raven? Probably nothing, right? Well, I have like 4 kings at this point, so that's actually a really good fight for me, especially with the extra 10 left over that I'd have at Shasta, and I did think that Red would help me out a little bit, since we were allied in this fight. So I get on. I don't notice this 88 attack because I should have been able to stop it, but I just wasn't online for when the attack came. So I lose my chance to pirate that 88 sub. and it gets through and would hit Shasta. Red gets use out of my king by gifting his drills to me, getting effect to my king. Loses Olive loses a ton of drills, taking Shasta, and then he takes it for himself right here. And Red seems to think I should be thankful for this, but I mean, it's not like I asked for Shasta back. That was his victory, so he gets Shasta. So I feel it seems like thanks enough to me. And the reason that I bring that up is because no one really covered this in their videos, but I didn't really win the game. There was 3 third place finishers because we had agreed that once Olive was destroyed, that we were just gonna concede and not concede because no one wants that on the record, but to just gift outposts to whoever the winner should be. And I had said something to the effect of whoever takes the most outposts from Olive will be the winner. But the reason that gets a little convoluted is because Red just kind of sneaks in and takes basically empty village outposts. You'll see basically every outpost he takes gets cleared of drills as he takes it. Now, it's not like Olive is gifting him. He still has to hit the walls, but all of the drills are being relocated away from Red and to me. So that's one part of the consideration. The other part is Red only has 1 more outpost than me, and when I landed at Suijin here, no one was going after Raven. I could have gone for Raven. I could have. I think maybe somebody had claimed Khyber's because you see Beige is headed for it, but I wasn't sure. You see that at Samet, he's got 53 drills there for a very long time. Just sitting there. And it's not until I get close to Suijin that he starts to launch his attack on Belanti, and I think that's because he knew that I was going to cut through Suijin and take Belanti myself if he didn't. So he sort of conveniently waits for me to get in position and then attacks. Sees that he claims Raven as well, but he's not even close to being ready to attack Raven. So by his own request, I don't attack Raven, even though I could have easily from Suijin. I also don't ask him for Shasta back when he takes Shasta. So Red takes 1 more outpost than me, but at this point it was just a conversation for who was going to get the medal, because I don't consider anyone the winner of this game. That is just how unbearable it was to play domination for us. It was. I don't think anyone was said at the end of this game like, oh, they had a ton of fun, they loved it. It was fun playing with people in the forums, but domination is just broken. I'm probably going to write a thread about how broken it is. It's pretty ridiculous. But that's a subject for another time. That's all I have for now. I win 3rd place, the gold for winning 3rd place, I guess. That's all I have. Thank you.